The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season officially begins next week. Today, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, known as NOAA, announced this is going to be another busy season. With the damage caused by the remains of Hurricane Ida fresh on their minds, some New York City residents are bracing for another active hurricane season. Lonnie Quinn is going to break down what the forecast could mean from our area. For it, though, our coverage begins with CBS 2's Christina Fan.
It's every time it rains, we're sort of triggered.
Yvette Mayo still has PTSD from last year's hurricane season. Ida not only ruined her Woodside, Queens home, but sent her to the hospital with an E. coli infection from trying to salvage sewage-soaked photos.
We made some amendments to the house. We took away the garage door and put a cinder block wall.
News of yet another above-average hurricane season this year is alarming her and others in low-lying areas who saw subways become waterfalls, families drown in basement apartments, and businesses destroyed. Forecasters warn of 14 to 21 named storms this upcoming season in the Atlantic, with 3 to 6 having the potential of becoming a major hurricane.
What can you do? You know, there's nothing you can do. Move to where?
At a press conference with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration today, Mayor Adams urged New Yorkers to check which of 6 evacuation zones they may live in.
Knowing your zone can have you prepared when the information is put out, and every New Yorker should know their zone.
Families say the only real protection against a more active hurricane season is by fixing the city's archaic sewage system. For example, this entire block relies on just this one drain.
The water, you know, it's like filling the bathtub up and you have it blocked and there's no way for the water to go down, so it overflows. Same with the system here.
Last September, immediately following Ida, a still mayoral candidate Adams vowed to improve the city's resilience while touring neighborhoods. Families say they're still waiting on him to deliver. In Woodside, Queens, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
Thank you, Christina. Lonnie, what are your takeaways from what NOAA said today?
Well, there's a lot of factors that go into them, giving us another prediction for, a very active season. Here are the numbers once again. I just want to point out that every single category has the potential to be above average. Named storms, 14 to 21. 14 is the average. Hurricanes, 6 to 10. 7 is the average. Major hurricanes, Cat 3 or bigger, 3 to 6, with 3 being the average. So why? Why another active hurricane season? Well, this is the 7th year in a row that they are forecasting a lot of activity out there, and some factors go into it. Number one, you've got that La Nina out there. All you need to know about La Nina is it equals low wind shear in the Atlantic basin, meaning as those hurricanes are approaching, from, say, the coast of Africa, as they're approaching, there's not a lot of wind beating them up, not a lot of headwind they're encountering. Other thing, mild SSTs, sea surface temperatures, are running way warmer than average. And right now, we've always said 81 degrees is that temperature that you need to really cook a hurricane. We think we're going to be well above that in some important spots out there. And an enhanced African monsoon season is forecast as well. Cape Verde Islands right there. We always talk about how these little storms come off the African coast, and this is where they begin to take their shape. And with a strong monsoon season, there'll just be more of those storms rolling off, be getting bigger and bigger and bigger as they push in our direction. So that's the thinking behind why they bumped those numbers up. But again, 7 years in a row, we've been dealing with a lot of activity around here. You look back to the 90s, it was so quiet. But we're in a very active season right now. Dan, it's all yours.
Okay, Lonnie, thanks for that background. See you soon in a few minutes. Stay with CBS 2 and CBS News New York for continuing coverage of this 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. You can downtown the CBS New York app for details on today's predictions from NOAA.